She talks so much she could wear a hole in an iron pot.
This week on isletunes, I'll help you usher in the month of September. You'll hear some poetry from Barn Cats. And hold on to your chapeau, because in front of the isletunes microphones are none other than Lennie Gallant and Patricia Richard as Sirène and Matelot as they launch a new album. Yous ready, PEI? Let's get her done! Hello, Prince Edward Island! I am Adam Michael James, and you are listening to isletunes for the week of September 3rd, 2023. The podcast is at well over 1,500 downloads, which is pretty good for the 3 weeks it's been in existence. Thank you so much for making that happen, and keep spreading the word so the island can hear its own music all together in one place. That happens to be right here. It's September already, and as there's no stopping the calendar, we might as well acknowledge this new month instead of bemoaning the end of summer. Rick Sparks rocks out with the Enablers, but he explores another side of his artistry as Hazen Halls, who leans more towards the sounds of folk fused with poetry. Last year's Our Fires Fade to Candles Volume 1 album earned 2 Music PEI Award nominations, and here, as summer fades to fall, is Hazen Halls with September Elegy as we kick off this latest installment of isletunes.
Student names written on the inside covers of textbooks should instantly disappear after they die. Sound of paper rubbing the day, lights from all its former lives dry white, faces ghosting the blood. Less light, take for example the kid from my old neighborhood who laid one night in the fall of '85, put a bullet through his brain and war with his girl. His parents mistook the sound for a phone being slammed down really hard on its cradle end. They didn't find him until morning walls thin to the vagueness of skin sheets manage their final. Undressing rooms are nothing if not the order of things to come undone.
Big fancy cars, they don't go far. Cruise on the sea, that don't matter to me. Diamonds and jewels, Versace, Vuitton, all made for a fool. Well, you spend till it's gone. 'Cause I'm not that girl, not your typical type. No, not your girl, don't you give me no hype. You can keep your cash, your brush, I don't need your stash. 'Cause I can stand all on my own, and I don't need no bone. Well, I got my own car, my own house, and a home. Oh, I don't want your pearls. You're straight back and scat, yeah, that's where I'm at. Don't you bother me, boy. Well, I'm not being coy. You can whine and you can dine. It's all on your dime. Bleed you bleed, well, I won't give the time. I'm not that girl, not your typical type, no. Not your girl, don't you give me no hype. You can keep your cash, your brash. I don't need your stash. 'Cause I can stand all on my own and I don't need no bone. Well, I got my own car, my own house and a home. Oh, I don't want your pearls. Your pearls. I'm not that girl, not your typical type, no. Not your girl, don't you give me no hype. You can keep your cash, your brush. I don't need your stash. 'Cause I can stand all on my own and I don't need no bone. Well, I got my own car, my own house and a home. Oh, I don't want your pearls. Yeah, you can keep your pearls. 'Cause I don't need it and I don't want it. And this line's not in service. You got the wrong girl.
The duo Blue Robin with their 2019 single, I Don't Want Your Pearls, rounding out the beginning of episode 4 of iTunes. Blue Robin is Lucy Blue, who brought her own brand of musical stylings to the island from British Columbia, and Christopher James, who shared the stage with Haywire's Paul McCausland as an opening act for Burton Cummings. These Robins have flown across PEI this summer doing multiple live performances, and they have a new album in its final stages that should hatch before the end of the year. When you think of prolific recording artists, perhaps performers like James Brown or Paul McCartney come to mind. I know for me, it's Prince, because he had an album out pretty much every year. PEI's Donnie Johnston has them all beat. In the 11 years he's been recording music, he can claim over 700 songs to his credit, ranging from old country to folk and soft rock. He tends to tackle subjects we can all connect to, and isn't afraid to tell it like it is when the lyrics call for it. An example of this is what you're going to hear now on iTunes. It's Donnie Johnston with new track, Nothing Makes Sense No More. And he's not wrong, is he?
Kids having kids is now in fashion. No relationships, just not a passion. Living together yet living alone. There's a roof overhead, but it's not a home. iPhone glued to their nose. Life is run by reality shows, never finding what they're looking for. Nothing makes sense no more. And when this fad starts getting old, they move on back and dump their load. Kids staying here, kids staying there, paying the price, it's so unfair. iPhone glued to their nose. Life is run by reality shows. Life is run by reality shows, never finding what they're looking for. Nothing makes sense no more. Within their world, so misconstrued, they're dreaming dreams that never will come true. And like a stone that skips across a pond, they chase in vain for what goes beyond. iPhone glued to their nose. Life is run by reality shows, never finding what they're looking for. Nothing makes sense no more. iPhone glued to their nose. Life is run by reality shows, never finding what they're looking for. Nothing makes sense no more. Nothing makes sense no more. Nothing makes sense no more.
Blanket full of skin, a thin heap of knees, doing no good, Cindy and me. I can see the writing on the wall, waiting for the other foot to fall. Loose hips sink ships and scratched records skip. Horny ears cuckolds, everyone slips. The shelves are stacked so thick with rival brands, and every local hipster starts a band, chasing a fast thrill, tripping on barbed wire, smoking out the window, surveying your empire. Feminine tomboy in a claw-footed bathtub, running the taps out, starting a blood grudge. Arsonists fight liars, swear words can't wear swords, and polygraphs light fires. Put down your hands, your gestures are obscene, like punctured tires on a limousine. Some stand aloof, but pure and the chaste, the prudes and romantics on a church steeplechase. Leave me be, I have nothing to give. The hard work I'd begun has all ended. Strangers kiss her feet, stolen jewels adorn her. Come this time of year, no one ought to scorn her.
Milks and Rectangles from their 2012 album of the same name. That's Loose Hips Sink Ships on iTunes. One album review likened this eclectic disc to, quote, one of those weird flavored bags of crisps. You can sort of tell what it is, but it doesn't resemble the flavor on the packet, but it's good anyway, unquote. And major side note, a pre-Kinley features on that record. Coming up, Patricia Richard, Lennie Gallant. One's the Sirène, the other's the Matelot. Also from 2012, Kelly Mooney's Tomorrow album combines ballads with blues-tinged contemporary country and what she rightly calls a great horn section. She wrote her first song when she was 14. Hey, that's something we have in common. And she features in Kaylee in the City over at Jack Blanchard Hall this Wednesday, September 6th. This is Kelly Mooney, Don't You Know Who I Think I Am? And I'm thinking it's on iTunes. Give it up for self-esteem.
Above the surface, but I'm doing just fine. So if you don't mind, why don't you go back to where you came from? You can use me, rule me, pull the wool over me, trick me, slick me, make a fool out of me. Try it, give it everything that you can. But honey, don't you know who I think I am? Took a little while and a sequence of events for me to come to realize that I have all the strength. I make all the rules now. You have no hold over me. I don't need you around. Can't you get that through your head? I can change my own tires. I can make my own bed. And it's up to me who's in it. And I'm pretty sure that it's not you. You can't use me, rule me, pull the wool over me, trick me, slick me, make a fool out of me. Try it, give it everything that you can. But honey, don't you know who I think I am? Who I am? Oh yeah. You can use me, rule me, pull the wool over me, squeeze me, tease me, make a fool out of me. Try it, baby, give it everything you can. But honey, don't you know who I think I am? Well, I'm the master of my universe, the queen of my domain. I'm the ruler of my consequence, my own eternal flame. You couldn't touch me if you were the king as I am. And baby, don't you know who I think I am? 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 Who I think I am?
Hey, what's good? It's Joe from La Funk. You're listening to iTunes.
Yo,
the Mi'kmaq Heritage Actors performing their rendition of Snake Dance. It's a traditional song that comes from South America and will be part of the album Watch, Listen, Learn that is coming out later this year. Their previous collection, Sing, Dance, Drum, is available at the Indigenous PEI store. Tanya Davis defines herself as an interdisciplinary artist. She also happens to be the Provincial Poet Laureate and has been releasing music set to her poems since 2006. Just this May, she released a new musical recitation produced by Daniel Ledwell and realized as a video by Millefiore Clarks called The Web. And since a web doesn't just catch things, but is a literal connective thread, how's about a double dose of island poetry set to music in the form of an
isletunes rock block.
Are you the web, or the spider that weaves? Are you fly that's trapped to die there slowly? Are you the glistening bead? Are you the morning light that shines upon it? Are you the beam to which the web attaches? Are you the tree from which came the beam? Are you the ground from which sprouted up the seed? Are you the rain which nourished the soil? Are you the cloud that provided the moisture? Are you the sun behind every weather? Are you any of these things? Are you all these things together? Are you a single stitch, drop thread, threadbare? Are you the fabric that waits to be repaired? Are you the tailor who mends it? New duds instead of it? Are you the broken singer in the corner? Are you the tired hands under dying light? Are you too shaky to thread a needle? Are you the needle that we can't find? Where did you go? Do you fade with sun's light? Are you a star, a moon? Are you a rainbow? Only comes with exact conditions. Are you the winds winding in the distance? Are you going to surprise us? Are you a season lying dormant, a storm waiting to happen? Are you a catastrophe threatening mayhem, an apocalyptic daydream? Are you the calm breeze at daybreak waiting to take the night up from the ground? Are you groundless? Are you the ground? Are you the caretaker who tends it? Are you the young one getting in the way? Are you the knowing old one? Are you the bones in slow decay? Are you the dust after the dying? The new life rising from it? Are you the baby green of promise? The petals prying open? Are you the cold come to scold them, hate to welcome? Are you the one who starts to smell them? Are you what the cliche was based on? Are you the old photographed colors? The filter that doesn't cut it? While the bee goes off with the nectar, the honey? Are you the shopper, the worker, the money? Are you nothing? If you cannot define it, cannot find it, cannot decide if you are all of this or nothing. Are you something tangled, quantum, in a web of webs and onwards? Are you the weaver, or the one who sees it, or neither? Are you the web?
Discussing metaphysics with the swans is a strange game indeed, but does have its perks. Though perks they be, they don't send you off as if on a speed trip, but make you knowingly slower. Discussing metaphysics with the swans is a calming down of races that would occupy a mind, but never pay off with an end, but lead you deeper into Dante's wood. Discussing metaphysics with the swans, I found myself drawn in, at first by a siren serenading the whitewater angel, then by the allure of the angels alone, two that are sharp and careful creatures. Discussing metaphysics with the swans, they actually are not much for words, but teach with their movements and attention, warily accepting my green offerings of sustenance, never accepting out of my hand
only that released. Discussing metaphysics with the swans, wanting to have the gratification of acknowledgement, but angel, isn't that the very problem? That I want acknowledgement to be touched? You angels who care less if I notice you. Discussing metaphysics with the swans, realizing that is the secret of your silence, that you do not care if I think upon you, only insofar as a tricky creature might be a threat, deceiving with Trojan gifts of green blades. Finally, I realize that your gift is just the watching, the silence you taught me to allow for myself. Discussing metaphysics with the swans. Discussing metaphysics with the swans. Discussing metaphysics with the swans. Discussing metaphysics with the swans.
It's got a beat, and you can prose to it. That's Trevor Lowell Clements and the Barn Cat Poetry Beat on iTunes. Trevor's a drummer and an educator who has taught English in Korea, the United Arab Emirates, Mongolia, and Brunei, which has no doubt informed his poetic output. You can find many of his tracks on SoundCloud, and they'll soon be available for purchase on several music platforms. But teacher, I forgot my history book. Actually, it's just that I don't have any entries for this episode's This Week in PEI History segment, but maybe that's good since I've got an extra long interview still to come with Sirène and Matelot, otherwise known as Patricia Richard and Lennie Gallant. Punk expanded out of 1960s garage rock and blew up into its own genre by the mid-1970s, so it's not surprising that eventually it made its way over here to Prince Edward Island. What is surprising is just how big a punk scene the island has. For the purpose of this episode of iTunes, we've narrowed that scene down to the quartet of Ben, TJ, Ryan, and Brett, aka Antibodies, whose efforts Sorry State Records calls, quote, punk rock in its purest form. It's relentless, the site continues to say of Antibodies' simply titled LP 2019. Not that you'll want it to stop. So, let's get serious about punk rock, the track you're now finding yourself in for. Turn it up! You've now developed Antibodies, the band that is, here on iTunes. Now to really turn things on its ear, let's DeLorean our way back to 1973. While punk was growing in a musical petri dish during that year, the duo of Gene Weeks and Dave Beckett were hitting #1 on Canada's RPM chart with Could You Ever Love Me Again, which even charted at number 92 on the Billboard 100 chart in the States. It's Gary of Gary and Dave who can lay claim as an island son, even if by 1975 they had both traded music for a cockpit, establishing careers as pilots. Either way, they're flying. Gary and Dave, bringing the 70s back, iTunes style.
Feeling small makes me want to tell you all about feeling strong makes me want to come on to you in a very special way that no words on earth could ever say. But could you ever love me again if I let you down, disappointed you? Could you ever love me again if I cease to do little things for you? Could you ever love me again? Somewhere, somehow, somewhere, if I let you down, girl, could you ever love me again? You and I never had to try very hard to understand the other one and how at times we both were feeling. But now and then, especially when we're apart, I think about the days to come, and will I always stay in your heart? But could you ever love me again if I let you down, disappointed you? Could you ever love me again if I cease to do little things for you? Could you ever love me again? Somewhere, somehow, somewhere, if I let you down, girl, could you ever love me again? If I let you down, girl, could you ever love me again?
She waltzed right in and every head turned, her eyes that stared with a fire that burned. All at once I lost my heart and my mind. You know that she's the bewitching kind. I held her tight as we spun on the floor. Policemen came charging through the front door. She took a break from doing time. They dragged her off and left me behind. I know she's crazy, but I don't care. To hear her speak a word is rare. I only get to see her on Sunday afternoon. If she's good, I thank the doorman who dropped the dime. Police had saved me in the nick of time. She killed away all the men in her life, and now she uses a spoon for a knife. I know she's crazy, but I don't care. To hear her speak a word is rare. I only get to see her on Sunday afternoon. If she's good, I'll thank the doorman who dropped the dime. Police would save me in the nick of time. She killed away all the men in her life, and now she uses a spoon for a knife. She uses a spoon for a knife. She uses a spoon for a knife. See you next Sunday, baby.
The Jive Kings with the title track of their 1999 debut CD, Spoon for a Knife. Rebranding after starting out as the Swing Kings, the band was comprised of, in alphabetical order, Alan Dowling, Daryl Gallant, Bob Nicholson, Mark Parsons, Mike Ross, Ian Sherwood, Barry Sorensen, and Perry Williams. In fact, the album was recorded at Perry's long-running virtual studios. The Jazzy Octet picked up ECMA awards for Best Jazz Group of the Year in 2000 and 2001. Coming back into this century, nay, this very year, husband and wife duo Mike and Karen Pettin originally hit in 2019 alongside bassist Ronnie Arsenault and drummer Mark Robichaud as Soul Filter. Their debut album, A Minor Conspiracy, nabbed a Music PEI nomination for Best Rock Recording of the Year, and you'd never know from Karen's powerful vocals that it took Mike over a decade to position Karen in front of a mic. Well, Soul Filter is back with a new single, and they're about to turn your town into a quicksand town, here on iTunes.
I wanna
Soul Filter on iTunes, filling your soul with their new track Quicksand Town, which just came out 1 month ago today. We're into a new month now, and the island still has tons of live gigs for you to enjoy, even if you might have to soon include a light jacket with that enjoyment. Here's a smattering of what's going on this week. Today, Sunday, September 3rd, Carrie Lynn and Matt Hanna are at Founders Hall, while Sarah Siegel-Lazar celebrates her album launch with a performance at the Trailside Cafe. Tomorrow, Monday, September 4th, Brian J. Dunn and Charlotte Russell end the Sounds of the Waterfront series at Founders Hall, and Gordon Belcher and friends play Stanley Bridge Hall. Tuesday, September 5th and Friday, September 8th, it's Leon Gallant and friends at Stanley Bridge Hall. Wednesday, September 6th, it's the Chasins Kaylee, also at Stanley Bridge Hall. Busy place. Thursday, September 7th, Michael Pendergast and the Tom McSwiggan Kaylee are at Stanley Bridge Hall. Fiddler's Sons are at, surprised, Hillcrest United in Wood Islands, and Eric Broadbent is at the Trailside Cafe. While on September 8th, that is Friday, Mallory Johnson featuring Scott McKay are at St. Mary's Church in Kensington. Saturday, September 9th, it's Richard Wood at Stanley Bridge Hall. And on both September 8th and September 9th, it's the tribute show, The 27 Club, at Harmony House. Okay, now live from the iTunes studios, otherwise known as my basement, I want to introduce two island performers who need no introduction. Why do people always say that and then go ahead and do the introductions anyway? Go figure.
I have no idea.
But seriously, now she was first on an album as part of Panu back in 1984 and played in Oda Lakadi in 2004. He debuted in 1988, which led to 13 solo albums and being named to the Order of Canada. Together, they are Sirène et Matelot, the mermaid and the sailor to non-French speakers. I'm humbled to welcome Patricia Richard and Lennie Gallant to the iTunes studios. I can't thank you enough for being here. This is awesome.
No, we're really happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Nice to meet you.
Now, you've just released Sirène et Matelot's second album, Un Monde de Dissonance, following its debut effort in 2019. How is this new album different from the first?
I think it's a little more exploratory. I think, and we had a little more fun with the instrumentation on this one. I like to think this one is, we kind of look at each song as it's almost like it is an entity unto itself, like it is a story, and we use different colors for each song, and so it makes it interesting. So the songs themselves seem to have a character musically as well as lyrically.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we also explored experiences that we had with some friends. Like there's a lot of stories in this album as well. For example, his connection with Jimmy Buffett and Jimmy Buffett's friend Johnny Holiday, who's a...
Right, that's one of the tracks.
Yeah, he's a very popular, famous singer in France who passed away in 2017.
Johnny Holiday would be, in the Francophone world, Johnny Holiday would be like Buffett is in the English world. And when Jimmy he wanted to write an homage to him, so he asked me if I could help out, because I had spent some time in St. Bart, so I knew the territory. And so he asked me to help him out with writing the song, so it was cool.
That's really amazing. I don't even have words for that. You've been quoted as saying, at least on the website, that sometimes great beauty can come from dissonance in the world. Does that dissonance appear musically on the album? And how do your concerns about the world transition into what you called appreciating the beauty around us?
I think in one song in particular, the title song, we actually tried to make it ever so slightly dissonant. You can't get too dissonant, or it's just not going to sound good. But we were making efforts to hold on to a piece of music longer than normally you would, just so that it would have that little edge of
to not quite follow the chord.
Yeah.
Just subconsciously, so something's a little different.
Because it seemed to suit the storyline, again, and in the chorus, it talks about, there's a lot of rain in your life, but there's a lot of beauty there too, and sometimes out of dissonance will come great beauty, and so I think that's kind of what the theme of if there is a theme, that's more or less what the theme of the album is.
That's true. And sometimes you can't really appreciate the beauty unless you've been through the dissonance.
That's true.
As for the rest of the album, do any real-life events or experiences inspire any of the lyrics on the album?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I love the story of Kirsten Newshafer, our very good friend. You tell the story. You tell it so well.
I'm not getting in the middle of that.
She's making me talk more in this interview because most of the interviews, of course, we've done for the Francophone album are in French, and I let her take the lead. So she said, "Okay, you're going to do the acting." Kirsten Newshafer is a South African adventurer, an amazing woman, amazing spirit. She decided that she wanted to enter probably the most dangerous sailing race in the world, to sail solo around the world, all by yourself, in a boat that measures no more than 36 feet. And when you leave land, you have to take everything with you. You cannot touch land again. You cannot communicate, have no communication with the world while you're on this all the way around the world. You're all alone. And you can only use navigation from before 1967, which was the year of the first race of the Golden Globe. While she was going around Cape Horn, possibly one of the more dangerous spots in sailing in the entire world, I wrote a song about her. She had no idea that she was in first place when she got to the finish line in France, all the way around the world. And when she crossed the finish line in Sable-d'Olonne in France, they were blasting a recorded version of my song over the sound system. When she came
that's
in.
amazing.
And that's the first time she was aware that I had written the song for her.
And my dad was a fisherman, is a retired fisherman, so I have a connection and grew up by the water. So we have this affinity, this connection with the ocean and the water, and that's probably where Sirène et Matelot.
Yeah, it's kind of more the siren and the sailor than a mermaid. With the sirens are in mythology are these mythical creatures that would sing these beautiful songs and lure hapless sailors to crash their boats upon the rocks.
We like to joke about that because the siren, being in control of the sailor.
Yeah, and she runs things and she doesn't.
I see how this works now. Okay. Speaking of which, nice segue. You both obviously have long established careers of your own. How is the sound of your work together different from your solo material?
I probably would go places that where as Lennie Gallant, I might not go musically because that's not something I want to do, but it's something we can do because all the rules are different and all the barriers are down and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I know from personal experience that it can be challenging when two creative, passionate people, try to work together. I can certainly attest to that. Does that factor into your process at all, and how do you handle that?
I'll let you file.
Well, it's been almost 7 years now, I guess, that we're a couple. So I think things are definitely at that comfort level, which is kind of a good thing because we don't have to hide behind anything. Like we can be pretty honest and blunt with each other. Like if we're working on a song, I don't like that, and you don't have to walk on eggshells as much because we know each other so well, and you understand each other a lot.
Yeah,
more
and we know that if one person says I don't want to do that or I don't like that, it's for the good of the project and the good of the song in general. So
So I think it works out good, and I think what really helps is that we have a lot of faith in each other as well. Like I respect him so much as a songwriter and an artist, and I say that openly all the time. Like I feel so lucky to be able to create with him because I just think he's a master, and I'm learning so much of songwriting with him. So,
well, I learn a lot too, and she puts us does not understand how amazing she is as both as a songwriter and a co-writer, and so yeah, I think it's a good collaboration.
Mutual respect, but there's some hard moments. It's not always perfect.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
We won't talk.
And I won't delve into it.
We won't talk about the times we want to strangle each other, but that's okay.
Those are normal.
Yeah,
those are completely.
I think everybody has those moments.
Oh my God, yeah. Well, especially again, being two creative, passionate people.
Yeah.
That's that creates the good stuff, and sometimes it's like the tectonic plates when they bump up against each other. But ultimately, you make a mountain out of that. So.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And in French, I mean, lyrically, I could never come up with these songs without Patricia there. I think it is a really great collaboration, I think, for the French stuff in particular.
So we are going to play a song from this new album, the title track, Un Monde de Dissonance. Would you like to set up that song for us?
Yeah.
It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek song in a way, and it's the title song for the album, but probably the most, I don't know, not slightly humorous in a way. It's this couple who are discussing their philosophy of life using very well-known aphorisms, and
He says, she says.
he says, she says, and she thinks this way, and I think this way. But talking about some of the dissonance in the world, but then in the chorus, j'aime le son de la pluie qui tombe sur les feuilles. I love the sound of the rain when it falls on the leaves in the morning, and even though it's raining, it's a beautiful life kind of thing. And their love for each other, I think, comes through in the song even though they're teasing each other somewhat.
Right here in the iTunes studios, Lennie Gallant, Patricia Richard, I'm going to go and die now, and this is an
iTunes world premiere.
Elle dit que l'amour est comme le moment en hiver, juste avant que la rivière se transforme en glace.
Il dit que c'est bien difficile de trouver les paroles qui montent si lentement à la surface.
Elle dit qu'on n'arrivera jamais si on perd trop de temps à regarder dans le rétroviseur.
Il dit que la vie n'est pas une destination, mais un voyage de l'âme sans un navigateur.
J'aime le son de la pluie qui tombe sur les feuilles quand la journée recommence.
C'est ok
de rêver et quelquefois se tromper dans un monde de dissonance. Elle dit qu'il n'y a pas de courage si on n'a pas peur de peur, même peut-être des soucis.
Il dit qu'on n'a pas d'arc-en-ciel si on n'a pas de rage et un rayon de soleil qui s'ensuit.
Parfois il souhaiterait que les choses qu'elle lui dit soient un petit peu plus similaires à ses pensées.
Parfois elle voudrait que ses pensées puissent lui dire de prendre un autre moment avant de parler.
J'aime le son de la pluie qui tombe sur les feuilles quand la journée recommence. C'est ok de rêver et quelquefois se tromper dans un monde de dissonance. J'aime le son de la pluie qui tombe sur les feuilles quand la journée recommence. C'est ok de rêver et quelquefois se tromper dans un monde de dissonance.
You've just heard the title track from Sirène and Matelot's new album Un Monde de Dissonance, which is so new that it just came out this past Friday. If you're catching this podcast on Sunday, September 3rd, and it's early enough in the day, you can still catch our Siren and Sailor show tonight at Village Musical in Abraham Village. Call 902-854-3300 for more information about that. And to purchase Sirène and Matelot's new CD, as well as t-shirts bearing its beautiful album artwork, head on over to sireneandmatelot.com. And that is the end of All the Dissonance this week. Coincidentally, I'd already made my first couple of choices for this episode when I made the connection with Sirène and Matelot's album title, so I ended up making Dissonance a quasi-running theme between some of the song choices and which ones followed the other. Hey, I like themes. Running, not so much. If you want to hear more of my interview with Lennie Gallant and Patricia Richard and what they had to say about how they met, how they ended up singing together, and their album release tour, well, there's a lot more. And the whole chat is on video. You can access this expanded interview by subscribing to isletunes on Patreon. For $5 a month, all the full interviews will be at your disposal, plus you'll soon start seeing exclusive clips of live performances from Island performers. I just committed Le Funk to video last night, so watch out for that. Have a hand in producing this podcast by visiting Patreon at patreon.com/isletunes. If you'd rather do a one-time donation and get some rewards for your efforts, hit my newly extended Indiegogo campaign, where I will dole out some of my own songs and some of my books as a thank you for your generosity. Links to both the Patreon and Indiegogo setups are on isletunes.ca. If you feel like calling me or emailing me, maybe to comment about the podcast, maybe to suggest an island artist from the mid-20th century, which I'm still looking for, maybe to record yourself uttering an island saying you're fond of for the top of an episode, the number is 902-807-4250, and the email address is amj@isletunes.ca. Our PEI saying for the week was uttered by Gordon Cobb. Come be a part of the isletunes community over at Facebook, of course, facebook.com/isletunes, where I'm always posting links that lead to places you can buy the songs you hear on the podcast. I also include those links on isletunes.ca just to make it that much easier for you. We'll do this all over again next week when we'll sit in traffic together for a couple of hours and get fresh with a prince. Your ears will also be treated to a fresh interview with yet another PEI artist, though I must admit Patricia Richard and Lennie Gallant are gonna be tough to beat. Challenge accepted. Musical contribution to the isletunes theme by Kaylin McCauley and John Hashem. Show concept by Rocky O'Neill. I'm Adam Michael James. This has been isletunes, and thank you so much for your time and listening and for your growing support. I'm only 4 shows in, and I already love bringing this to you every week. Tell your friends about it, post and repost, and shout it from the rooftops. Be good, and if you can't be good at it. See you next week.